Hey, this is Flory again. This is one of my hats with a copper band. It's an old costume hat. And then I have the copper band here. I don't know if you could see too well. Anyway, that's it. So I want to go into a little bit more about smart meters because I'm finding out little by little that Barry Trower and Mark Steele had an interview on YouTube, very recent, and there were others subsequently that I learned a lot, didn't have a chance to watch, but I did learn a lot over the years about little tidbits about Lloyd's of London and also an engineer, I think it was in the north of the U.S. There was a video, I forgot his name, but he said that the smart meters are very dangerous and the prongs are thinner than the original meter. And all of the meters are really, the whole system is very outdated and should just go by service fee, square footage, encouraging solar panels on each block or on individual roofs because solar energy does not travel well. So these big farms, these big horrible glass facing the sun and all that, and huge farms of it will really result in a degradation of the wildlife population, especially the birds, of course. And also the LIDAR and aerosols report from 2018, the Army report shows that they're spraying chemicals over marine life. And I have a lot of videos, but the smart meter is, Barry said it's actually two smart meters in one. One smart meter inside the meter takes the appliance usage information and the other smart meter sends it out. So there's a Zigbee chip in there, a ZIGBY, and I have to research that more. There's it's a switch mode power supply, MPS, I think, and that switches the alternating current from your 60 hertz wiring in your house, which is really more than any human can really tolerate. Causes for brittle hair and things like that, nervousness, and being grilled in your metal box spring bed, metal intercoil mattresses, and ricocheting off of the metal. And metal can be used for very beneficial things, so it doesn't have to be bad. And anyway, it goes in as alternating current. Somehow it changes to direct current and sends it, the second smart meter in the smart meter sends it to a utility pole or to the transformer box or wherever wirelessly. So it sends it dirty electricity and radiation into the air, and it surveils you because a lot of them have a microphone, a two-way radio now, especially the focus meters. And I know one person finally had their smart meter switched because they had all kinds of medical issues, pains in the back and cramps, and the hot tub was right under the smart meter and all kinds of garbage. So this person had it changed to the less tasing, less sending out to third-party manufacturers, etc., whoever can hack into anything wireless, they get whatever they want. It's not very accurate. To a digital, they call it an analog, but it's really not, because the analog is the mechanical, where it's just measuring through magnets and kind of little wheels the usage. It does not run on power like the smart meters do. Anything with an LCD, liquid crystal display, rectangle digital is still digital and wireless, so it still probably has the thinner prongs, which allows for arcing, because there's a gap there from where the thicker prongs from the older meters were. There's 4 prongs. Anyway, and that every time that goes in and out of your breaker box, it compromises the integrity of the wiring. And that's why only a licensed electrician's allowed to touch that meter base. But the electric company sends out people who are not licensed electricians. So anyway, the 4 prongs are thinner, and that allows for gapping and arcing inside the meter, which is one of the many fire hazards. It also reacts with the falling chemtrails, the aluminum oxide and the aerosols, and also it with everyone's Wi-Fi routers and the cell towers. Of course, we were finding out only 10% of it is really used for phone. The rest is used to, have the plates facing and cooking, and it's an oven. It's a man-made microwave oven. Anyway, it is May 12th, 2019. It is a Sunday, and it's about 6 in the morning, and floor refreshment here. Anyway, so Lloyd's of London, the reinsurance company, or the insurance company that sets the standard for the industry, Lloyd's of London, and they have an exclusion clause, and a lot of other insurance companies are picking up on that, especially about the driverless cars and the driverless cars. Also, will not cover any EMF/RF damage to your body or to your structure or your property. That's electromagnetic fields, EMF, and radio frequencies, RF. So we have a proliferation of this based on a plastic head that I talk about in SAR Scam Part 1 and 2 from a couple of days ago. And it's May 10th or May 9th. Anyway, they ignite, the smart meters can ignite spontaneously. And Lloyd's of London found out that some electric companies around the country, or the world, I'm not sure, because they are based in England, sometimes they drill little holes into the meter to make it from the 89 degrees inside the smart meter down to the legal 84 degrees or something like that. So they drill holes in it, which debris and moisture can get in even quicker, and through the plastic, because it's not glass, and it could ignite, especially with the thinner prongs, and it uses power to run on. So you have all kinds of interference, and this little warning label stuck on them. Some of the older ones just say $150,000 fine for illegal to tamper with it, and then it has some kind of other writing on it. I have it written down somewhere. And then, so they're tampering with a meter, and they should be fining themselves, because that's tampering with it. It's not a meter if it's running on electric power to run on. It's an appliance. All right, so that one thing is the holes drilled, and if some of them are, I don't know how many have those holes drilled, but the people who put their little wire mesh cages and buy them for their neighbors, that does reduce the amount of dirty electricity coming out, but it's still going to be on your wiring and ricocheting off of everything metal in your house. So I recommend 100% rubber matting all over the place, and insulate yourself. The most important thing is to recall all the smart meters. Anyway, there's a family in Connecticut, I think it was they had a smart meter put on their house, I think it was in 2009 or 2010, 5 people died in a fire in Connecticut, and it was just the smart meter, they didn't even know it was there, that it had been switched. So the couple had cleaned out the ashes from the fireplace, not knowing that having a fireplace can heat up the smart meter. Anyway, and so they checked when they were leaving to go, I guess, food shopping or whatever, and come back to the other 5 members of the family, 2 adults and I think it was 3 children. So the couple made sure that the ashes were all out and put the warm, dead ashes in a burlap sack or a sack of some kind, I think. It's online. You can find the article because I know the lady who was the part of that family and survived had suffered terrible guilt, and then all of a sudden all these other people are dying in mysterious fires. So she didn't feel so guilty anymore because she didn't know that that thing was slapped on her house at all. So the ashes were still warm, but they checked twice and they stuck it under the smart meter where they usually put it before they do whatever they do, mix it with soil or whatever, however they recycle it. And they were still warm, but they checked twice to make sure everything was out. So just that little warmth coming from the dead ashes was enough to heat up the smart meter and have it ignite, is what the theory is. There was a smart meter fire. Michelle Sherman died in that in Reno. I think that was in 2011 or 12. No, it had to have been after I found out I had a smart meter and had it removed. So it's 2014. And then a guy in Reno a month before tried to shut his breakers off, and something happened. It caught on fire and burned his face. That same year, but I don't remember which came first. It was actually the same month, and I read that the district attorney of Reno was ordering a complete investigation of all smart meter complaints and mysterious fires, but I never found out about that report. Yeah, she was in her 40s, I think. And it shows the photographs. You could see it. It's just like she was the second story, and her room was right above the smart meter. It was all black on the smart meter. I guess they removed the melted meter in the middle of the night. I'm not sure if the melted meter, or if it melted, or if that was the cause of the fire. I don't know, but the photographs were, I think, unretouched, so it should be pretty clear as to what went on there. And what else? Smart meters, there's just so much I don't know, and then so much I do know. But I do know that that they all have to be recalled, that they're all bad. The whole metering system is completely antiquated. Debris and moisture can get under an analog mechanical meter also. I feel that, they should be removed and just charged a service fee, and like I said, encourage individual abilities without wireless. There is a way to use electricity safely, and there is a way to get practically free electricity from sunlight and starlight. It's called scalar, and what they're calling scalar is really vector, but they call it scalar to make scalar look bad, which it's not. Anyway, that's about it. Just missing my dad and my mom, and I'm so happy that I was raised by them and that I could be here today to help everybody out. It's very sad that I have to be afraid to walk out my front door because I might run into a driverless car that has laser and radar, and that is a battlefield artillery. Very, very, very scary that I have to build up courage just to get in my car, hoping they don't pass me by while I'm reaching in and organizing my work supplies or whatever. It's just really scary. So I have a lot of videos and photographs of that, unfortunately. But fortunately enough, where people around the world say, oh my God, is this going, where else is this going on? Say, but the real estate agents, they don't know anything about it, that they've chosen one of the more trendy areas of Scottsdale to use these on. Anyway, over and out. Thank you.